It's time to get down to business on TK Business Live, brought to you by the members of the Topeka Independent Business Association. Now, let's join Tara Dimmick, owner and publisher of TK Business Magazine, as we take a look into the business world of Topeka, Kansas.
Hi, and welcome to TK Business Live. I'm Tara Dimmick, and it's great to be with you this Sunday. A big shout out to our sponsor, the Topeka Independent Business Association. You can check them out at topeka.tiba.org, a great organization and one I'm proud to be a part of. We've got a great lineup coming up. Becky Dickinson will be with us shortly. She is with the Robb company, and we'll be talking a little bit about some of the activities that are going on over at Brookwood Shopping Center, as well as the 21st and Bell shops. As you're looking at holiday shopping, those are two great locations to do some local shopping. And then Kristina Dietrick will be joining us. She's with Creative Business Solutions, and we'll talk a little bit about some HR hot topics. Then Russell will be joining us with Century Business Technologies to talk about all the different ways that they work with businesses on those processes that are going on with your company to try to communicate and hopefully shed some light and give us some hope on how to make our processes work better. I have Becky Dickinson joining me. She's with the Robb company, and really the big areas that you get to take are managing are Brookwood,
right,
Shopping Center, and then 21st and Bell. And they've got all kinds of things going on, especially with the holidays coming up.
They do.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on over at Brookwood.
Okay. Brookwood, this is a really busy season. We have, as most of you know who have lived around here for a long time, we have Santa Claus on top of Dillon's, and we will be putting him on top on November 8th early in the morning. So if anybody wants to come by and watch Santa go up, you're more than welcome to do
awesome.
it. We'd love it. We're also having on Halloween this year, as we've had the last 3 years, this is our 4th annual Boo Fest, and this is where kids come and trick-or-treat from 4 to 6. All of the shops and businesses will be open. We'll also be having a selfie station there where you can take pictures, and we'll have face painting, and we're going to have some music, so we hope everybody can come out for that.
I love that, and that's on Halloween.
That is on Halloween. Okay. So from school, before you go trick-or-treating out with everybody else, come by Brookwood. It is.
It's a perfect
fun.
time, because you're not really ready to go out yet, as far as, because houses aren't ready for you. But you're ready to go out.
Exactly.
And your kids are dying to go out.
Exactly. So they can come by and just get lots of candy and goodies before they even go out for the big stuff.
Well, that's where we're going.
Yeah. And then you can always stop and have dinner and do a little shopping, too.
Well, I got a little mermaid that really is excited about Halloween, so that'll be fun. That'll be fun. That'll be our first stop.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's welcome. And we hope the weather holds. And in the past, we've had some rain, and we've had crowds even at that. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So what else?
We have on November 12th, we have our annual holiday open house, and just getting ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so we invite everybody to come out for that. We'll be having some music, and then there'll be specials and all at all the stores. And it's always fun to come out and see the Christmas decorations and everybody getting ready.
And you have some fabulous stores over in Brookwood. I love the Tasteful Olive.
Uh-huh.
I get my oils over there.
Yes.
And they have just been, they're so much fun to go see, too.
Right.
I last time I was there, I kind of felt awkward. I was drinking from all these kegs of oil, because you go around and you get to sample the oils,
right.
And they are just amazing. And then they'll put things together for you. And then I just talked with Jennifer Owen with Marion Lane Candles, and that's an amazing gift for Christmas. And
that's
then
fun.
Your new store, we just had that in TK, the Dandelions.
We have Dandelions that opened.
And I guess store, I'm not sure if that's the right word for it.
Well, it's a place for kids and parties, birthday parties and things like that, where they can make craft items. And Brenda provides all of the necessary items, and so you don't have to clean up after them at home.
Right, and no glitter at home.
Right, it's perfect. And, we have lots of things to shop for Christmas. We have Linen Tree, we have Wild Birdhouse, Wheatfields, Game Central, we have Uniquely Yours, and then the winery, Prairie Fire, Local Depot, and then Stitch and Traditions for the quilters, as well as Prairie Trading, and you mentioned the others, and services, Laundry Chute, and then we also have office space, but we also have restaurants, tequilas, and Boss Hogg's Barbecue.
Yeah, they're great.
So
we love both of those places to eat at. So
lots going on.
How about over? Is that it over? I mean,
well, Small Business Saturdays, November 26th, and so we've been supporting that for the last several years, and we are again. We're hoping to make that bigger and better. So shop local.
Well, let me know how we can help. We'll do some stuff on the air, or
I will
help out with social media because we are a big supporter of that as well.
Yep.
So combined together, maybe we can really make some magic happen.
That's good.
It's important. It's really important. And I was not. I'll be honest. TK really kind of transformed me. Once the online shopping became heavy, I started doing that, and now. Even when I go into other towns, if there's a local shop I want to buy from, I just bought a purse from a local shop, and just what you do for that business owner, what you do for your community, and also how much fun it is.
It is.
Just to go shop local.
Yeah, because they're unique items.
They are.
And it's local. So that's neat.
Another cool place that you guys manage is the 21st and Bell location, which is just awesome.
It is a fun center. And we have a new business opening there, so we're going to be full over there. It's called Interior Design Resources. That's going to be opening on November 1st. It is owned and operated by Jennifer Metzger with Fine Design, as well as Leslie Hunziker Interiors, and then Jan Hutt Interiors. Basically, what they're going to be is an interior design resource showroom for designers and then anyone else who might need designer's assistance, and you're welcome to come over there and check it out. So we're really excited to have that business there. It kind of completes the center.
Yeah, it's a cool business. I'm excited to see. Actually, I'm excited to go have a chat with them about my kitchen. But it's really cool what they'll do, and they'll also come out to your house and all that. But it gives you a chance to it sounds like to come in, and get to see what the wood samples look like and what kind of options you have. And we've had other things in town like that, but nothing kind of this nice as far as having the interior decorating expertise.
Right. And that will be right there. So we're real eager for that to come on. I think the sign just went up today. And then the other thing that's exciting at 21st and Bell is the Girls Christmas Gala, which will be Thursday, November 10th from 5 to 7. And there will be a raffle in support of the Humane Shelter at that time, too. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, no, one of the things I met with Kelly Long over with Long Lighting, and Kelly was great, but what's so cool about that space is it's all women-owned, women-owned businesses, which is cool, but that's not, but as a woman, one of the cool things was you can go there and you can get your house figured out, all of the lighting done, go work with the interior decorators, get that all taken care of so your house looks gorgeous. Then you go get some gifts, and then you can head over and get an outfit, and then also get your hair done.
That's right. That's right. It's all there. And a cup of coffee.
Yes, and Lazio's, right?
That's right.
It's a great space. It's a great space. So talk a little bit about the Robb Company and what you guys do.
Well, we manage these properties, but we have the retail shopping centers, but we also have office space over at Brookwood Shopping Center in the back, and we do have space available. So if anybody is interested and would like to look at the office space we have, give us a call at 785-273-3111.
Yeah, it's really a great location. You've got Brookwood right there.
Right.
And then you're in a great location right there on 29th. So
and the office space is in the back, and it's kind of wooded back there, so you can get some nice peaceful views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Becky, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Tara.
You guys have a lot going on.
We do.
Well, go check out Brookwood or go to 21st and Bell, especially if you're getting ready for the shopping season and the holiday season. And go think about buying local as you're getting ready for those Christmas items.
Right.
Thanks, Becky.
Thank you.
I have Kristina Dietrick joining me. She's the president of Creative Business Solutions. Welcome, Kristina.
Hi, Tara.
So I have Kristina here to talk about some of the hot topics in human resources and HR. So what's up?
What's up? Workplace etiquette, workplace respect. We don't seem to have it out there, Tara. I've been getting a lot of phone calls in regards to that. And why? I don't know. I think it has to do with a lot of skills that are not there in regards to communication and dealing with situations where you're not always getting your way and how to deal with that appropriately.
Right.
So that's the bottom line.
So does it have, I mean, there's two things that come to mind when I think about workplace etiquette and the current environment. I think about the election.
Absolutely.
And I think about the massive generational differences. Is it have anything to do with those kind of elements, or is it just we're kind of treating each other not as well as we should?
Well, I like the way you mentioned the political arena that we're in right now. I mean, that's a perfect example. Would I ever see a presidential debate, the ones that we're seeing right now, where we're talking more about the negative than the positive? That's the best way to put it, is hey, we're going to disagree. That's okay. But I think there's a respectful way to do that. And yeah, I'm getting a lot of phone calls in regards to either a team environment or a cultural environment, or just two people that are not getting along. Let me give you an example of, etiquette and email etiquette. I got some feedback the other day that I did something that offended someone. But I'm glad that they said something to me, because I had no idea that I had offended them. And it was an email situation, and I was dealing with a recruitment issue. I asked this individual to provide some documents to me ASAP. Well, since ASAP is an acronym, I capitalized it.
Right. So therefore,
but what I know. So it was an ASAP as soon as possible. But that was not my intent. But I can't emphasize to you, Tara, that one email changed the dynamic of our relationship. And the only way we got it resolved is we talked about it. And it was, so that's just an example. But what was happening with that particular relationship with that other professional, that I've worked with for 6 years, that's what's even more kind of an aha moment for me, is I thought we had a strong enough relationship that she could have come to me and said, hey,
is that ASAP?
I know.
Cool, whenever you got it, just as soon as possible, or is that right now?
Yeah. Well, and even I went out to the etiquette gods on the internet and typed in, my particular predicament, and it was a 50-50 split on, people that think that that's okay to capitalize ASAP, and some people that do not think that's okay. Even if I went on my iPhone right now and it self-corrects me to basically capitalize it. But that is a good example of how, if we didn't get it resolved, that would have been pent down, and she would have had that, against me maybe for years, and it may have showed up in other ways. And that's what a lot of workplace etiquette and respect in the workplace issues come from, is something happened in the past, some history is there, and we have never addressed it in order to get over it and to move forward. So I've had team dynamics that I've been working with, to get through those particular issues. I've been working one-on-one with leaders on how they can move forward and, be motivational to their employees. So it's a big issue. And I think you mentioned generations and all this. It's really just basic communication. And when I say basic communication, it's talking to people when they do things right and talking to people when they're not doing things right. Mm-hmm. I was appreciative that she gave me that feedback. I was so appreciative because that was not my intent. Mm-hmm. That was not my intent. So it's important.
It is. It's interesting you say that, because my daughter, and this goes to a little bit generational, but it's just how they see the world. But she won't use capital letters, period.
And capital letters are okay.
I think I've decided that it's because she's trying to calmly communicate with people.
That's a good way of putting it, and I'm okay with that. But I still believe
poor grammar skills.
I know, but I still believe in basic grammar. But I will say that has been a contention ever since they invented email, is the capital letters.
Yeah.
And I understand you should not capitalize anything within your sentence structure and within the paragraphs. It was purely an acronym. So there you go. But I've learned from this. Not only, Tara, this is where, as a leader, I think I did the right thing. First of all, I apologized, and I changed my behavior. I do not capitalize ASAP anymore. I spell it out in very small caps.
So you've got this right now.
I got it.
You won't make that mistake in the
won't
future.
make a mistake.
But I think those tips are really good. And I think that going back to the election, some of that could be used in our election process of just simply apologizing, acknowledging the effort, and changing behaviors in the future.
You just nailed it. Apologizing, change the behavior. And I could sit there for days analyzing why I'm right, and hear the internet gods. Why go there? Mm-hmm. If you offended someone and they did not feel good about the correspondence between you two, why wouldn't you change your behavior? It's not a right or wrong issue. It's about listening to people and making accommodations, and that's a simple accommodation.
That's awesome. Kristina, we'll have you back for some more hot topics. But tell us how people can get a hold of you, how they can, when this issue comes up for them at their office, how they can get some tips and some advice from you as well. How do they get a hold of you?
There's two ways. My HR 911 line is 233-7860, or you can email me. And if you go out to our website, cbsks.com, you'll see my email address, and just give me an email, and I'll be on the phone as quickly as possible, ASAP in small caps, to help you out.
And I have to say, I have used that 911 number before. So we have had our own HR issue where I needed a quick answer, very, very ASAP.
ASAP.
Capitalized.
That's right. That's right.
Kristina, thank you so much for
no
joining
problem.
me.
Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Kermis, Vice President of Business Development with the Jura Credit Union.
TIBA is advice and support. TIBA is information and education. TIBA is a voice for small businesses.
One of the best things about it is that everyone's very open there. Everyone collaborates. Everyone talks about best practices of, well, this is how we were able to handle this situation. This may be able to help you down the road. Or this is the marketing strategy that we took on this deal versus, have you ever considered adding this product line to your business?
The Topeka Independent Business Association is strong because of its members. Become a member today by visiting topekatiba.org.
I have Russell Kromminga with me. He is the Director of Imaging Services for Century Business Technologies. Welcome, Russell.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Okay, so technology is kind of, for me, it's like I want to know what's going on. And just when I kind of start figuring things out, I'm lost again. I mean, things have changed. I should have done this instead of that. So tell me about what Century Business Technologies can do for a business.
Okay. We actually can do a lot for businesses. We actually have a wide variety of services and products that we offer to our customers. But I think the biggest things that we offer is the ability for us to go in and actually discover what's important to our clients, what makes their business work, and how do we use technology to help improve the way they do businesses and do what they do normally on every day.
It seems really important to get to the base of that because so often we think as a business owner, I think I know what we need because somebody kind of told me that or that's the next step, but I really don't.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
I know what I need to get to. I know what my goals are.
Right, and that's what we work with a lot. We work with business executives to not necessarily help them determine what their objectives and their strategic vision for their business is, but how to implement not only what they already have for infrastructure, for software, for hardware, for all the different things that they use, but also look towards the future for how do we build a process and some steps that says can they get to where they want to be and how do they use technology to make it easier, faster, less expensive.
Wow. Okay, so tell me about some of those services. Tell me about the things that you provide.
Okay. One of the first things that we do is we do what's called a network discovery. We actually go in and look at what your hardware, your infrastructure looks like. Do you have the resources and tools that you need in order to do your day-to-day business now? Then we also look at, from a standpoint of how do you do processes and documents. One of the biggest pieces of confusion that we see in businesses is that there's a disconnect between what data means and what documents means if you ask a person what those are.
Right.
Okay. Data is the information. Okay. And that can come in a bunch of different forms. Documents are the vehicle. And that vehicle is what determines how that data and information moves back and forth through your business. So what we help people to determine is do they have the right vehicle based on the document type in order to move the data effectively through their organization. And we do that through software. We do it through process development and workflow. We do it through hardware. We do it through a number of different services that all kind of meld together into one pool.
So what do you see? I mean, as you're working with someone, when I hear all that, I think about how many, as I've worked through my company and really tried to build systems, I first had to realize how many systems were broken. Exactly. So how much of that do you find and actually end up probably helping?
We actually find that a lot. And one of the biggest things that organizations go through is the fact that a lot of times they have so many different disparate programs or platforms that they use to run their business that those platforms rarely talk to each other.
Right.
You know, a lot of times they have an accounting platform, they have an HR platform, they may have an inventory platform that's done for production or for whatever else they're going to do. And a lot of times that information has to travel between those pieces, and a lot of times it doesn't. So the customers are often stuck with a platform that they've invested tons of money, tons of expertise in order to get it to run, and it'll do 80% of what they want it to do. And it's the 20% that eats up resources and energy and all of those pieces that they need in order to move forward to the next step. So we actually take a look at what they have, what they're using now, where do they want to be, and then we take those pieces and we determine, can we modify the way they're using it so they don't have to reinvent the wheel? Or do we need to supplement that with an additional platform or additional software that can tie all those moving parts together and get it to flow in one direction?
So what are you seeing the most right now? I mean, technology is moving at the speed of light, like I mentioned. I mean, I feel like every time I kind of think I know what I've got the right things, the systems are in place, we just bought a new computer, we got the new software, and then it seems obsolete. So
Yes.
how do you work through that process?
A lot of it has to do with the process itself. When you talk about the software, the different computers and the things that you have, all of those are infrastructure pieces that help you manage and do what you're going to do with the data and with the information. It's the process in which that information flows that uses those resources. So we look more closely at what does the process look like. We had a customer that came in this morning, and we were working on a backfile conversion process for them to convert old legacy documents that had been stored in 3-ring binders for years. It's like for 25 years.
Right, and there's so many businesses that have that.
And they don't necessarily need to access that data all the time, but at some point they have to go back and look for legacy documents that they need. And so as part of that discovery, one of the things we also looked at was they have current processes where if they bring in a new project, how do they get that new information into a system that makes it manageable and more accessible? Businesses today are challenged with the number one thing that they face, no matter what industry it is the accessibility of information. From an internal standpoint, how do they get the information that they use to do business to travel from one department to the next to get the job done? From a customer standpoint, nobody wants to be on hold.
Right.
Nobody wants to say, call me back tomorrow and I'll have the information for you. Our attention, it's like our whole business environment suffers from ADD. We can't wait on the phone for somebody to find an answer.
No.
So it's that speed and accessibility of the information is really what we see the process management pieces coming into play that says, how do we strengthen the time it takes to get either you or your customer the information that they need in order to make a business decision?
Yeah.
And that's what we look for.
Well, and I think about some of the things that some of the business owners that I've talked to recently, they've talked about even, and I feel like sometimes I bring up generational issues, but they're pretty prevalent. But one of the things that they talk about is the expectation of the younger generation to have the processes already in place, and that they're surprised if they're not in place, and how difficult that's been to basically be almost forced into getting up to speed so that the younger generation accepts the process.
Correct. Yeah, one of the things that we see a lot of times being a parent and having gone through this process is a lot of kids, when they go through the education process, they're looking for someone who's already built an app that lets them do this stuff. Businesses are the same way, and especially when they bring in a lot of the younger people, they're used to using the technology. The infrastructure is not alien to them. They navigate very well. But what they don't navigate well with is creating and building a process in the background to make these resources work for them. The expectation is that it already exists. And sometimes that it causes friction within the organization when that's the expectation, but the organization they join hasn't caught up to that expectation yet.
So tell me, how does someone, get a hold of you guys, get that process started, and get up to speed, get their processes in place, their systems unbroken? How do they get that whole thing moving for them?
All they have to do is give us a call. They can visit our website, go to centurybusinesstechnologies.com. They can call us at our office here in Topeka. We have 5 offices across the state, so we cover a very wide area that we can handle. But give us a phone call and set things up. Basically, what we look for is an initial discovery meeting. It takes about 45 minutes for us to really delve in and take a look at what do you expect as a business owner or a manager or a department head that says, what are you challenged with? What direction is your business going today? Is it growing? Is it shrinking? Is Is it staying the same? What are your key objectives and the goals and strategic vision that you have for your company? And then how are you using technology now? Then we take a look at, once we determine where that is, then we pick a spot. Where do you want to start? And let's start with something simple and small that can do two things. It gives the customer a proof of concept that says we know what we're doing and we're going to show you how. And it gives the customer that feeling of security that says I haven't unwrapped my entire organization and put it at risk because I'm going to do this project.
Right, because that's scary.
Yeah.
I just invested money, and what if it doesn't work? This kind of gives them a feel for what they're going to do and how they're going to make that work.
We did a project a while back with Washburn University at one of their conferences that was actually put on by all of the IT people from all of the major universities in the state of Kansas. And one of the things that we did during that presentation was talked about how a lot of organizations have a tendency to buy the elephant. Okay, they buy the elephant, they buy these huge platforms, they try to integrate all these things looking at these giant global pictures, and what they don't realize is it's never going to move because they can't figure out how to attack that and eat the elephant in one bite.
Yeah, totally.
So what we try to help them do is focus and split that up into projects or processes that says how do they attack it and do it one step at a time so they can move towards their goals.
And they know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Exactly. The elephant is a huge thing for especially small businesses. We're trying to make a big move. We're doing it all by ourselves or with a small group. And it just really, you run into that elephant and then the elephant's too big to move. And so you just suddenly you paid all that money and you just let it go.
Exactly. Well, and especially one of the things we concentrate a lot with small businesses because, even you as a small business owner, you understand the challenges that it takes in order for you to compete in a larger market, you have to have the resources.
Yeah.
And the technology that allows you to go head-to-head with somebody that is a bigger, larger market, all those things. Small businesses face those challenges because they can't invest those massive amounts of money. So how do we do the same thing on a scalable level that allows them to invest in the technology that can do what they need to do, but still be scalable to the point to where it's not going to be something they throw away in 3 years. It's something they grow into, they don't grow out of. And they make that so they can make that consistent investment over time.
That's great. Well, I hope it gives people hope, especially business owners, some hope that they can call Century Business Technologies and start that process and not make it feel like it's an elephant, that it's really just taking little bites and little chunks until they get their whole systems all in place and the process is moving the way they want them to.
And that's what we enjoy doing. We really enjoy learning how other people do business and learning how we can use the processes and products that we use to help them.
Awesome. Russell, thank you so much for joining me. This was great.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us on TK Business Live. Have a great week.
Thanks for joining Tara and her guests on TK Business Live. Join us again next Sunday at 11:30 to hear more from our community business leaders, entrepreneurs, and people making a difference in the landscape of how business is progressively moving forward in Topeka. TK Business Live is brought to you by the members of the Topeka Independent Business Association.